Welcome to On the Spot, a new Record-Courier video series. My name is Moff. I'm the Kent State University Athletics beat writer. Our first guest with On the Spot is an avid Kent State fan, Nate Condos. Welcome, Nate. I appreciate you volunteering to come in and talk some Kent State sports with us.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been going to Kent State basketball games, like I've said, since I was in my mother's womb. And Kent State sports. I've just grown up around the university and couldn't think of a better place to be.
Great.
And I love sports. Just glad to be here. So.
Okay. Now, where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Kent?
Well, actually, we live in Ravenna Township.
Okay.
But just a few miles, just like across the border from Franklin Township.
Okay.
So, just a few minutes away from KSU.
Now, how many games would you say you've been to in your life?
Oh,
we're talking hundreds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hundreds,
okay.
if not, yeah.
Great.
Probably a couple hundred basketball games.
Great. Now you're at Kent State. Now you're a student, right?
Yes, I'm a freshman.
Okay. How's that going?
Good. Like my classes and the teachers, and it's just great. It's a great environment. You get the feeling of a big university, but at the same time, you get the feeling of like a small college, where you have a close-knit group of people. And I did marching band, so I really like the people there. It's a close-knit group of people, and it's just been a great experience so far.
Great, sounds great. Still making every basketball game this year as a student? Just about, or?
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay.
There's a little point there, just trying to work a little bit as much as I can to
right.
save up some money.
Right.
So
that student thing
I've
you have
been
to
able
do.
to make it to every one. I was glad I made it to the Akron one. Though.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep. Well, let's just talk about the basketball team. Then we're going to go to the men's basketball, kind of our on-the-spot topic today. Obviously, they got off to that huge start, 8-1, and everybody's very excited, and they hit some tough times. But now they've won 3 in a row. So just kind of what's your impressions of the team?
Well, I mean, every team, you look, even the Dukes and the North Carolinas and the Kansases, every team goes through that rough patch. And this group is very talented, I think. And, there's a lot of talent, and at the beginning of the season, we saw cohesion with the group. And then they kind of went away from that a little bit. And I think they can't get down on themselves. Because I think when we look back at that, the losing spell, we kind of got down on ourselves. We didn't play as a team. The passing, you look at the assists, and the passing wasn't very good. Kind of nobody wanted to share the ball. So you look at that, and I think if they get back to what they did at the beginning of the year, on that 7-game home stretch, barring the Bucknell game, I think that we'll be good heading into the MAC tournament.
I know Rob would agree with just about everything you just said as far as the teamwork thing. They played their best basketball early in the year when just about everybody in the lineup or anybody coming off the bench contributed.
Yeah.
And they've gotten back to that recently, and that's been the key. A couple of things he's done. One thing he's done recently is he's flip-flopped his starting lineup basically.
Yeah, it was interesting to see because you always expect to see Brewer in the starting lineup, but he's played very well off the bench, and he's kind of come into more of a leadership role, I think. Coming off the bench, it's a whole different perspective. It's a whole different game when you come off the bench, and he's got nothing to lose. The team's got nothing to lose, so I think these last 5 games they need to go and just lay it out all out on the line.
Coach Senderoff, Rob, has done this before where he would bench starters, key guys, when they weren't doing whatever he thought they were supposed to be doing. He did it to Justin Green a few years back. Last year he did it to both Randall Holt and Chris Evans, and those guys would produce. It seemed like that move would work every time. The next game they would come out huge. Now Chris, the first game he was benched, came out and pretty much probably played his worst game of the year. So it didn't work immediately.
I remember that one. That was not. But, I think you look back, though, and we've had a lot of talent come through this program. In the past 15 years, ever since I can remember, with Trevor Huffman, Andrew Mitchell, Antonio Gates, You know, Nate Gerwig, Justin Green, Chris Evans, the list just goes on and on. And I think when they go on the bench, it's a moment to sit there and think, okay, maybe, you know, just got to take a little bit of time, relax, too hyped up out on the court. And I think we kind of saw it earlier this year with Darren Goodson. He was, you know, he had the best thing in mind, you know, he was trying to do it for the team, but I think when you get so hyped up, and I played basketball for a few years myself, and you just try and do too much, that's when you start making mistakes and turning the ball over. So I think when you bench your key players, all of a sudden they kind of see, okay, you know what, we need to get back to what we did, you know, at the beginning of this season, you know, talking about just crisp passing, clean shots, you know, not wild shots, you know. To me, I think that Akron game really exemplified how talented this team actually is. We did something in the second half. I think we took it to the basket against Akron more in the second half than I remember since Zeke Marshall was there.
Okay, we break down the team right now. As we spoke earlier, Rob's done a couple things. He switched the starting lineup. 3 guys that used to start are now coming off the bench, and he's also shortened his bench. He only played 8 guys the last game. I believe the game before it was either 8 or 9, but this is kind of a couple minutes for the 9th guy. And the team seems to have responded. The guys that are playing now are obviously getting more time. The sophomores are in the lineup, so they're getting like a free run really to see how they're doing. It's also a nice luxury to have if the sophomores struggle. You just bring 3 former starters off the bench, and that just kind of seems to have gotten everybody into a role. Everybody's kind of settling in and doing their thing. Can you just kind of talk about your impressions of those moves?
Well, I think you know, we've got some talented sophomores who can go out and play, in my opinion, with anybody in the MAC. You know, Kellen Thomas, Cleek Spicer, very good players. But I think it's nice, though, that he did shorten the bench, because I think you look back earlier in the year, I mean, pretty much everyone was contributing, but we were playing 10, sometimes even 11 guys. So I think shortening the bench, he's kind of said, okay, this is, you know, these are our guys going forward into the tournament. I think you almost need to have that, you know, because you can't keep, you know, just one game, you know, Devin Carter comes in, you know, randomly. I think it kind of messes up the team cohesion and the cohesiveness. But I think those sophomores that he's put in as the starting roles, it's great because it gives them leadership experience, you know, game time for even, you know, looking ahead for the next 2 seasons.
Okay, name of our show is On the Spot. I'm going to put you on the spot. Kent State has won 19 or more games for 15 straight years. Do they reach 19 wins this year? Right now they're 15 and 11 with, we said, 5 regular season games to go.
Yes, I think they do get to 19 wins. I think they even get to 20. Because if they get one of those higher seeds in the MAC tournament, I think, you know, we'll have that home game. I think we should win Wednesday night, get to the quarterfinals. That should put us at 20 wins.
Okay, on the spot. To wrap it up, who wins the MAC tournament and why?
Well, I have to say Toledo. Toledo has played the best basketball, I think, this year in the MAC. A lot of talent on that team. Obviously, probably MAC Player of the Year candidate Julius Brown has been one of the elite players in the MAC this year, and there's just no arguing it. It's going to be close. I think Western's going to give Toledo and everybody, you know, everything they can handle. But I do think Toledo wins the MAC tournament this year.
All right. Well, that's great. Nate, I really appreciate you being our first guest on the Spot. Great job. And I'm sure we'll have you on the show as it goes forward, but thank you again. And thanks to everybody for checking us out. We'll see you down the line.
Thank you.